Hey guys, Matt Griffiths here from G-Force Strength and Conditioning. I did say I'd come on live, and if anyone was about to do any Q&A, if anyone has any things they want to fire at me live, that's perfectly fine. If not, the thing I did want to talk about that has really been highlighted to me today through various posts I've seen on the internet is the whole principle of diets. And you see the advice out there, and some people are doing it in a sort of mocking sense. And what they do is they simply say, "Oh, eat less, move more." Hey, Doug, how you doing, buddy? Eat less, move more. And the fundamentals of that are true. It is what we have to do. You have to be moving more or eating less to create a calorie deficit. Most of you will be very aware of that. However, it kind of gets me when people give that advice, because it's kind of like saying, to win a game of chess, we just have to capture the opponent's king. To win at a sport, we just have to score more points than the opposition. It's very, very simple, that kind of method is. I mean, what a load of crap. You can't do that. You've got to talk about the nuances and how to do it, and how the mindset works, and how you create those scenarios that get there. There's more than one ways to win a game of chess. There's more than one way to, win a game of football. There's more than one way to win a game of hockey. Yes, the fundamental principle at the end of it is the same, a victor and a loser. And in terms of diet, yes, you want to build muscle, you want to lose fat. That's perfectly acceptable kind of thing. But to give that sort of generic advice, it's this simple, just eat less and move more, it really doesn't help people. People know that, don't they? I think we need to give people a bit more credit for this than they're due. See a few people logging on. How are we all doing, guys? The whole purpose of this anyway is if anyone has any sort of personal training based questions, dietary based questions, etc., drop them on now and I'll answer them live. So it's not going to be one of those I'm not one of those coaches that will sit there and be quickly Googling everything. This will be off the cuff, so by all means crack on. See if there's anything I can give you a quick bit of advice on to help out some fellow dads. There's a few more joining now. How we doing, Jim? Good, buddy, you? I'm just relaxing at this end. I think it's after midnight now here in the UK. I've come on at this sort of time because I figured there's a higher proportion of people from across the pond, so there's going to be more of you about to answer these questions. But as it's this time and it's Friday, I'm having a pint of Guinness. So like I said, if anyone has any questions or anything, drop them on here and we'll see what we're doing. How are we doing, Teddy? Good? So in terms of what I've been doing training-wise recently is the last couple of years I've been in more of a maintenance cycle because I've been building my own private personal training business, my G-Force Strength and Conditioning. What's my favourite colour? I'm not really sure, actually. I'd probably go with yellow. I think I tend to go with that sort of one, to be honest. I like the contrast. I do like it when it's sort of like stuff's like yellow and black. So there's this sort of stark contrast. I used to be very much a sort of moody. Everything had to be black. I say sat here in a black vest, but everything used to have to be very dark all the time. And then as I've got older, I've started to sort of go. It's a bit more. I like things a little bit bolder. There's a few more coming on now. Yep, drop them across, guys. Any questions you've got. It can be anything you like, anything stupid. I'll try and humour, as long as it's not too offensive to the group. Anything I can help you with. How old am I? I'm 38. I will be 39 in August, which means I will be 40 next year. And honestly, I haven't celebrated my birthday since the age of about 25. I just don't care. That's not my thing. Anybody else with any questions? Don't be shy. Nothing is too stupid to ask. But yes, going back to what I was saying, I was competing at quite a high level. Let's have a look. Doug's asked a question on here. At 50, I want muscles, but I want a tight waistline. So the eat big to be big is good or not? Diet to me is a big deal. Good question, Doug. Now, let me just reverse engineer that for you, because diet is a key component. We have to start looking at how a muscle is made. Now, ultimately, when you break it down, the muscle is made. It's built on a base of protein, amino acids, forming muscular fibers to contract. There's various types of contractural fibers, etc. So to do that, you've got to have that available bioresource to create something. Now, you cannot create something from nothing. You can't just get a bunch of nothing and go, haha, there's a tennis ball. So that's the same with a muscle. You've got to have the fuel there to do it. So once your energy's been replenished, there has to be an excess to create that muscle. Finding a balance where you're creating the muscle to a certain extent, which is a slow process, but then not bringing on too much fat, is a tricky one. But yes, you do have to start eating for the weight you want to be, but don't jump it up too excessively. Just to sort of, the same way as your diet, 300 calorie excess is perfectly sufficient to start building up. I hope that sort of answers that one. Jim, what have you put on here? Biggest issue I have was I was 16 stone, dropped to 12. Been in the gym for over a year, trying to tone up and build muscle mass, but continue dropping weight. Now dropped to 11 stone. Let me just see if I can see all of this question. Been in the gym for over a year, trying to tone up, build muscle mass, but continue dropping weight. Now dropped to 11 stone, struggling to add weight on. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. I would suggest that's diet-based as well. Easiest thing to do there, buddy, create a food diary for a week or 2 weeks. Start having a look at exactly what you're eating and be honest. Don't go, oh yeah, I've eaten all of that food when you haven't. Measure out your food, write down what it is, find out what the macros are, basically saying if I'm struggling to drop weight or if you're maintaining weight after a sort of 2-week period, so you're getting an idea of the balance and the equilibrium that's going on, then you can start going, right, okay, this is where I can add more calories and start building some more weight. So I hope that sort of answers that one. Whenever you're losing weight, it's always a case of you are going to be in a calorie deficit somehow, unless there is some prevailing illness that's taking that away. Let's have a look. Anybody else with any questions? Going back to the story I was telling as a sort of blatant time filler. I was competing at sort of a higher level. I was European powerlifting champion. I've been 3 times British powerlifting champion with some pretty decent lifts. I've had 380 kilo deadlift, which is off the top of my head, it's about 846-ish pounds. Is it that much? No, it's not. I'm talking nonsense. It's about 830. I've had a 230 bench, which is just over 500 pounds. And a 350 squat, which is just under 800 pounds, which for a guy of sort of 6'2", I've got quite a long wingspan and long legs, is quite good. I was competing in some strongman stuff until I snapped my Achilles tendon, and it kind of put me on a back burner for a while, and then children came along and it sort of stifled everything somewhat. So any other questions coming in, guys, just ask away, just type them in, and we'll see what I can come up with. In the meantime, I'm going to continue drinking this beer. Favourite bands to train to? At the moment, I listen to. I should probably point out I'm half English, half Scandinavian, so a lot of Icelandic in me, hence the probably Viking type look. I listen to a lot of Scandinavian metal, like Amon Amarth, but I also really like Five Finger Death Punch at the moment. But then I'm quite eclectic with my taste. I sometimes, I've lifted to Vanessa May and Catherine Jenkins at the same time at powerlifting competitions. So it's whatever strikes my mood with music. I don't think there's a right or wrong to that one. What's my best deadlift? My best deadlift in powerlifting competition is 380 kilograms. and in a strongman competition it's 400 kilograms. I'm on at the 400 kilograms was not pretty. Anyone got any issues or anything they want me to quickly answer that they would ask the group? By all means, just post them up. This is the kind of situation where people realise it's there, and then they've probably got questions they want to ask, and they'll either miss the actual live feed, or they'll be sat there thinking, "Oh, I had a question," and it sort of missed them. It's on the tip of their tongue. Oh, a fan of a monomile. Yeah, I've got quite a few Viking horns in my heritage, and I've got some runic tattoos, and I've got my daughter's name in runes tattooed across my stomach, actually from the Old Norse. I'm trying to think of other common factors that I see in the group, common things that could be very easily addressed. I think one that's always sort of popped up, not just in this group, for me in general in the coaching world, that it can be quite frustrating from a sort of a knowledgeable chap in the area. It's what we call anecdotal evidence. Let's have a look at some questions, so I'll interrupt myself here. Any advice on speeding up recovery? Yes, there are a few things you can do to speed recovery up. There's the easiest things you can do is hot and cold treatment. Just take a shower, have it sort of unbearably hot for sort of 30 seconds to a minute if you can, and then reduce it to as cold as possible. And it's a very simple principle that the hot water allows more blood into a muscle as it loosens off, and the cold water forces it out. So the theory is that you're flushing more nutrients through quickly. Sports massage, static stretching after training is good. Don't static stretch before training because it's been shown to reduce the efficiency of the exercises. Dynamic stretching before always, but then static stretching during your off days. There's some good research backing up foam rolling and all sorts of stuff, but anything like that, anything that gets the blood recirculating, some movement, some massage, saunas, those kind of things do help. Couple those with decent diet and decent sleep. You're probably doing the best bang for your buck that you can do without taking anything that is a bit naughty. Let's have a look. Dog here. At £250 people call me big dog, big guy, and beefy. But at £230 people ask me what gym I go to and how often you work out. At £220 people say I look fit and can I talk to their husbands about going to the gym? Oh right, it's different. Yes, yeah, you do get that. I recently went on a vacation to Egypt, and they're quite a small race, and I'm a big guy, but I'm not sort of I'm not a gargantuan guy, but I'm a big lad. I'm sort of 6'2", and I'm sort of just shy of 300 pounds. You're welcome, Jacob. And sorry, Jake. So I just forgot that. I just recognised the picture. And every day I was on this on a resort. I was stopped 5 or 6 times, asked if I could have photos with them because they're all sort of small and quite slight, and being sort of a larger guy over there. So you do get different people coming on. Jim's put on there. Thank you. No worries, Jim. Not a problem at all. You're welcome, Steve. Like I say, anything. How's the knee, Jake? Is it any different since we last spoke? Let's have a look. Steadfast Conditioning has asked, how much calisthenics do you incorporate daily, weekly? I do actually incorporate them. There's some good research backing them up, and I think they make a great warm-up, and I use them as part of a dynamic stretch, getting the body to be able to generate force without a load other than the body weight. I think it's a very good thing to sort of teach motor skills and to get the body moving in a good sort of way. So, Jake, what you put there? Saying working on getting new wraps. Thoughts? Well, I can give you one. I'm actually sponsored by Cerberus Strength. They actually took me on after I won the European Championships wearing their wraps. I actually contacted them saying I've just won this wearing your wraps, and they took me on. So their kit I can vouch for. So if you do want anything from that, drop me a line and I can send you a discount code. But it's relatively cheaply priced. There is a USA rep out there as well, and it's it's quality stuff. They do different grades of wrap as well. So for you, Jake, they do the initial wrap is very light, very stretchy. So that's probably ideal for what you need at the moment. And then it goes up through 4 different grades. So it gets very, very, each one gets tougher and tougher. And then the last one's just, I don't even wear the last one. It's like cardboard, which is just, it's beyond what I enjoy training in. Scott, brother, looking good, big man. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. Anybody else got any qualms, queries, quandaries? As I mentioned in our message as well, Jake, I'll when you get older, drop me a line. I think I may have done one previously actually, but I'll look. If not, next time I'm sort of squatting, I'll do a quick one, or I'll do one in the house. I'll show you a very, very simple wrapping technique which I use to. It doesn't necessarily give you the most out of the wraps, but what it does do is protect the sort of patella, prevent the patella moving, and present that lateral movement in the knee, most which is obviously what you want. Do I follow any sports? Yes, I like combat sports. I like watching the MMA and boxing. I follow rugby union in the UK. I used to play myself professionally, and I follow strongman and powerlifting. Aside that, not much more than a passing interest. I will watch a lot of other sports. I like watching ice hockey, American football. I've never been keen on the football in England or soccer as they call it in America. Not because of the skill level, but because I'm just not really into people diving around on the floor when someone runs within a gnat's fart of them. Doesn't really do it for me. I'm thinking, come on, you can do an overhead bicycle kick and deliver a ball accuracy, but you can't stay on your own feet when someone runs close to you. Not having that at all. It's going down a bit too well, that is. I may have to have another. It does bring me on to something in terms of diet and stuff. I mean, people talk about whether you should be able to drink, whether you be able to enjoy yourself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with relaxing and taking that time out for yourself, mentally and physically, to let yourself have a letdown. Yes, as long as you sort of calculate, it doesn't have to be done in a day or 2 days or 3 days. You sort of weekly, bi-weekly brace of calories is what has an effect. Overindulging one day to underindulge another day, that sort of yo-yo diet, and your blood sugar goes up and down and up and down. It just, there's no point in doing that. But if you're keeping everything relatively steady, there's nothing wrong with doing that. You can still achieve your goals. You can still lean up and still go out and enjoy a beer with the boys. Yeah, you might want to change what you're drinking. I drink stout, Guinness, which is actually lower in sugar, lower in a lot of. You still have the alcohol content, obviously, which is about 7 calories per gram, but it's not as sweet, so you don't get as much sugar as you do with a lot of the other beers. And I enjoy it, but it's not for everyone. Any other questions from anyone on here? I see people watching but not commenting. By all means, give us a thumbs up, give us a wave, say hello. We can all talk to. I don't bite, don't worry. I might look like I do, but the only thing I chew is steak. Right, guys. If there's nothing more forthcoming at the moment, I'll call it a night this end and go and relax. And I appreciate everyone's involvement. I will try and make it a more regular thing and get some some basic information sharing out there to sort of help all you dads. We're all in this together. There's different ways of doing it. If you want some, there's a great load of information on this site. There's some great people on here as well. And as always, there's a few coaches on here, and we all offer our own private services as well. So hit us up if you want any of those, not just myself. There's plenty of others on here. Get the best fit, because not all coaches work the same, not all coaches do the same thing. So get the best fit for what you want and what you like, and you will get better results that way. So I'm being completely honest to you there. So have a good evening, guys. Like I say, it's getting late here, so I'm going to go and have some more food, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have another couple of beers, and then it's get my head down and ready for a busy day tomorrow. All you guys on here, have a good one, and don't go too mad tonight. Take care, buds. Ta-da.